Welcome back to the All Out NRL Fantasy podcast. It is the Thursday of after Origin 1. Ben's never a doubt. I mean, Queensland, we obviously play better for the jersey. We play better for the state. Billy Slater knows what he's doing. Match Maguire doesn't know what he's doing.
I don't think we expected a send-off within 8 minutes. Quite frankly, it did ruin the game. It ruined a lot of the excitement. However, as Queensland fans ourselves, we were happy, but in a way, it was probably the least engaged I've been in an Origin game like ever.
Mate, there's so many storylines, fantasy-wise, Origin-wise, I mean, journalistic-wise. There was so many storylines that came out of Origin. I mean, let's just start from the beginning, right? So we have this huge build-up for Origin. It's been publicised so much throughout the week. We get to the game. The commentators are doing their role to, hype up the game. The players run out at 7:55. Here we go. The crowds erupt.
I already know what you're going to say.
And then here comes a guy out. Everyone's pumped up. I'm like, cool. National anthem's about to start. And the guy comes out with an acoustic guitar and puts everyone to sleep.
It was like a voice performance. He was trying to prove something. He was trying to make a career out of it. But I think the national anthem, with all due respect, it was a great performance. Don't get me wrong. But next time, just sing it the same way. Don't try to be different,
mate. If the 8 p.m. start didn't put me to sleep, it was that guy.
Yeah,
it was acoustic.
He was very, very talented. But yeah, it was so hard. I could see all the mouths of the players. They're trying to sing it, but he's doing way too much, like the vibratos or whatever it's called.
Mate, he was going way too much. He was doing way too much. What you need for Origin is some opera lady singer to absolutely belt it out, just to get the hype going.
Exactly.
Still, you just got to keep the hype.
And sing it in the same way that we've learnt it our whole life. Don't switch it up. It's the anthem.
No, you don't have to switch it up, but. Then we get to the actual game, and I mean, Queensland didn't start red hot, let's be honest. I thought Queensland were actually quite average, to be honest.
They actually did not play well at all. We were lucky that they had a send-off. They had all the momentum, especially at the start of that second half. I was getting a little bit worried for a little bit.
Well, let's just go through the first half. We'll go through the Origin first, and then sort of some fantasy-related stuff, because there's a lot to talk about, hence the emergency pod. I mean, Ben Hunt gets a lucky try off a lucky pass from Cherry Evans to get the opening try. I mean, Daly Cherry Evans, there's no way he was trying to pass to Ben Hunt there.
Yeah, I don't know. DCE the fact that he's 35 years old is actually ridiculous.
Yeah.
To say. He was one of the men of the matches for me, but yeah, that try, I don't know if it was on purpose, but hey.
It's crazy to think that Daly Cherry Evans was probably one of Queensland's most hated players. Everyone in Queensland hated him.
I was one of his number one haters not long ago.
And now everyone just is in awe of him.
I love him. He was phenomenal. For me, he was probably my man of the match, to be honest.
Yeah.
Other than Hammer, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, and then obviously the incident that really covered up the national anthem. I mean, if this Joseph Suali thing didn't happen, I'm pretty sure the national anthem would be the first thing talked about in the papers, because it was just awful.
Oh, 100%.
But Suali being sent off, I mean, there is now a duty of care in the game that
it had to be
protects players from head-high contact.
Yeah.
It had to be a send-off.
Yeah, personally watching at home, I was screaming at the TV saying, this is a send-off. I was with some New South Wales fans, and they disagreed, obviously. But I was screaming, saying, if they're going to be consistent, this has to be a send-off. And I'm glad it was, but in a way, I just wish he didn't do it.
Yeah, it did ruin the game, but the argument of him slipping, it's still direct contact to the head.
Doesn't matter. He was sprinting full speed, went low. You just have to tackle lower. That's as simple as that. Reece Walsh, because he's a shorter guy, you got to tackle him lower. That's how it is.
My sort of perspective on it as well is from Ashley Klein's perspective, actually. If Klein doesn't send him off, how much backlash is he going to get from not sending him off?
Exactly.
For direct head-guy contact. So I think he was just obviously saving his job as well.
Yeah, and you're looking at the post-game conferences and whatnot. You see Freddie Fittler, he even says, yep, that's a send-off.
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
even Madge, although he didn't say it directly, I think everyone can agree, if that is on your own player, especially maybe because I'm a Broncos fan and it was on my Pookie Bear, Reece Walsh, it really made me so angry. And I'm glad it was a send-off, but obviously, I just wish it didn't happen.
Well, this is the interesting thing now. One of the fantasy questions is, Suali's banned for at least 4 weeks, could be 5. Latrell Mitchell was one that we were looking at just quickly to buy potentially, but he now becomes...
I think he's number one.
An
he's
Origin.
coming in.
Yeah,
Like,
are you still buying him, even though he's
oh,
potential for
as
Origin?
in- no, I think he's coming into the New South Wales
Oh,
team.
right, yeah,
I
yeah,
think,
yeah.
I would, even though he was looking like such a primed option, like averaging, like he didn't get a score below 50, like since round 10. He's been averaging like over 60 the last 3 games. I think he's the number one candidate to come in. Who else? Like
Yeah.
Stags maybe or Best, but they've been injured.
They've both been injured, yeah.
It's got to be Trell Mitt. It's got to be.
Well, going off the Suali incident, we then moved to the Hammer scoring the 2 easiest tries of his career. I mean, I don't think the Hammer will score 3 easier tries in his life.
Yeah, I mean, it helps when you're versing 12 men, and he's probably like one of the quickest on the field.
They
Of the best
scored both
support
times
players.
down that wing.
Yeah. It looked like they had no one there. They had Jack
Yeah.
Turbo chasing him, and he was the last one other than Teddy. It was probably the easiest game Hammer's ever played.
Well, Tedesco did score, and I said, oh, here we go. Tedesco's going to have an absolute blinder here. Tedesco probably played the worst 40 minutes between the 20th minute and the 60th minute. Everything went to ground that he threw.
Yeah.
I'm saying, without a doubt, Edwards is coming back next game.
I would say very confidently Edwards is coming back, as long as his calf, I think it's his calf or his hamstring, something like that.
Well, he's been
gonna be
named
back.
on the extended bench this week for the Panthers.
I
He's not going to
doubt
play.
He's not going to play. He's going to get some rest. I see 100% in my opinion, 99%. Edwards is coming back.
He'll play.
It's
with
good
you on
for fantasy for my personal team though, and also all out. We have Tedesco. I know a lot of people brought him in, and a lot of people were unlucky to captain
Yeah,
him,
we were one
like
of those.
myself as
Yeah.
well. But that's good for fantasy owners, I guess. He does hopefully come back and play most of the rounds till the end of the year.
Yep. I mean, other Origin talks sort of outside fantasy, I guess. We then moved on to half time. And I mean, half time, I was really contemplating their selections. And my big take here, Origin take, is I think they have to sack Isaiah Yao.
I 100% agree.
I
That's
mean, like,
crazy that you say that.
don't get me wrong, Isaiah Yao is one of the great NRL players. He's got 3 premierships in a row.
Yep.
He is one of the premier players in our game. I don't think he fits the mold for Origin.
I agree. I think he's one of the best club players, but at a rep level, he's not up to the level right now.
I wouldn't say that. I think he is up for the level. But the way that Origin's played and how fast it is, I just don't think his sort of game reflects how New South Wales want to play.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're missing like the likes of Cam Murray.
Cam Murray was perfect. Like Ruben Cotter is a prop, right?
Yeah.
He would weigh less than 100 kilos and do better, if not more, than Isaiah Yao
Yeah, you got to be quick.
at a
And
faster pace.
I even like linking that on to like Jake Trbojevic. I think it's a little bit similar. I think he was.
Well, he
so
played 25
bored.
minutes. Like, what's
He's the
other?
captain playing 25 minutes, and when he's out there, like he doesn't have that X factor. Obviously that's not his type of game. But I just think like the selection. You look at the Queensland team; all their forwards have a bit of X factor.
Yeah.
I think that was like the difference, really.
I think New South Wales game plan did get thrown off a lot, obviously, with Suali getting sin bin. There was a few tactical things that I saw throughout the game that I just didn't understand. Like, why pick Zach Lomax? I thought he had an absolute blinder in the second
he was
half.
sensational.
It was completely irrelevant in the first half. Like, I don't understand why you would not.
Put
Why
the
would
ball
you
up
pick,
to him.
Yeah, why would you pick him and not kick him to the wing? Like,
Yeah.
I said this at halftime. I said to the boys, why are they not kicking to him?
Yeah.
Sure enough, 5 minutes into the second half, he scores off
He
a
was
bomb.
phenomenal on the kick returns. Don't think he dropped a ball. He was really good offensively, defensively. He was one of the players of their team. And yeah, they got to utilize him more because every time he's in the air, he ends up with it.
You pick him for that reason, and if you don't pick him, you're losing pace in Adokar, and you can't teach pace. Like, you either got or you don't.
Yeah, no, I think he was by far one of the best for New South Wales.
Obviously, with Reece Walsh out for 11 days, he won't be playing this week, which really hurt some people. He was named to back up.
Yeah.
The other big talking point, I guess, made out of Origin is the performance of Nicho Hynes. Now, Nicho, for some reason, ghost points actually exist.
No, they do. There's no way he scored that. Like, how many was it? 67 on?
I believe. Hold on, I got it
Get the
here.
exact amount.
He scored. Where is he? Nicho Hynes. He scored 74 points.
That is insane
Like,
to me.
How
Like,
did
if
he
you-
score 74
If
points?
you put the stats aside and just think about how Nicho Hynes played, like I'd give him probably a 5 out of 10.
Honestly, yeah.
Like his defense.
He got exposed.
Yeah,
Like,
he got run past by Dearden so easily. Like I saw a clip last night, obviously just showing the replay, and his defense, like I didn't even catch it at the time. It was so bad. It was not up to standard.
Yep.
They're missing Nathan Cleary, and the fact that he had 70 something fantasy points, like
It baffles me.
It's crazy.
But I guess the big question that everyone's asking this week in the DMs, and we just put a post out, and it's the main question: is Nicho Hynes a sell? And I think you got the buy breakdown up there, do you? I mean,
Yeah, I do.
Off what that performance there, Andrew Johns said in the pros game, would you change the team? And he said he wouldn't. I'm against that. I think Nicho Hynes will get dropped.
I agree. I think these next 2 weeks are going to be so pivotal, like especially for Mitch Moses.
Well, it's just pivotal fantasy wise. Like if you go on to sell Hynes now, right?
Oh, I don't think he can now, honestly.
He's not playing this week. What buys does he have? He has
round 16 and 20.
So he doesn't play round 16, doesn't play 20. So he's missing this week. He could be back 14, 15. He'll miss 16 with either Origin or the buy, so that doesn't matter. He'll play 17, 18, so he's 19. So he could miss 19, though, backing up from Origin.
Yeah. But I honestly think he doesn't deserve to be picked after that game.
So he could be playing max 5 games, right? Yeah. I think he's a sell. 1.4 million, I think he's a sell.
Really?
Break even of 113. I'm going to be selling him this week in the personal team.
So I'm looking at my trades right now, and I made these before Origin, and I have him as a sell. It's so risky because we don't know what selection is going to be like. But obviously, his price tag is probably the biggest point. Like he's over $1 million. His break even's 110. He's losing money, and because he has those 2 crucial buy rounds as well. Like I'd probably lean slightly towards more sell.
Yeah.
But if you honestly think that he's gonna, get dropped from Origin, I could understand you holding him.
Well, it's the biggest question of the week, and the next question, adding on to that, is who do we pick up? Who do we buy? Now, because Queensland won, do they change a winning team? It's hard to drop Nanai. Nanai played exceptionally well. Jaden Stewart played a role.
Yeah,
I think he was all right.
I don't think they're going to change a thing.
I didn't see anything wrong with...
Even Kafusi coming 18th
played all right.
really good.
So does that make David Fifita a buy? I think it is.
Yeah, 100%. I think he's number 1 priority for every team right now, especially if you're selling Hynes, especially.
Well, what's the Titans buy breakdown? Because they do play 16, right?
They play 14, 15, 16, and then it's just 17 that they miss.
17
they
that
have
they miss.
Arguably the best buy schedule in the whole comp.
So I'd be saying David Fifita is the buy of the week this week because I can't see Queensland changing their team whatsoever.
Oh god, no. And if they do pick him for round 3, he misses one other buy.
One other buy, yeah.
And other players are going to miss more than that, even not playing Origin. So
yeah, I'd be selling Hynes to Fifita if you can, and then who becomes the premium sort of half option then?
I think Jerome Hughes is looking like a really good option.
Yep.
He's got 1 buy left in the year. Obviously, he represents New Zealand, so he's not playing Origin. He's got just round 19, and he plays every other game.
Yeah,
I think
a great buy.
He's like 750 odd K. Was really, really good at the start of the year. Obviously, he relies a bit on attacking stats.
Yep.
But I think having Wishart next to him is going to take the reins, and I think he's got some value.
Yeah, big time. I mean, yeah, like I said, I can't see Queensland changing their team whatsoever. The Blues side, obviously, Suali is out, and we touched on Latrell Mitchell.
He's got to come in. It's just, who else?
There's not many else.
Matt Burton is an option.
Matt Burton, yeah.
And he was 18th man, so I could see that happening, actually.
Yeah.
I think if I'm a selector, I'm going Dylan Edwards out the back. I'm going Mitch Moses half, keeping Luai there. I think I'd go Latrell Mitchell into the centres and have Burton on the bench because he's got that versatility.
Yep.
Other than that, I'd probably get rid of Hudson Young as well and bring in Mitch Barnett. But
you know who was good, and I hate to give him raps, but it was Spencer Leniu. He was really good.
He was sensational.
I think we actually got quite lucky when he went off for a HIA because we lost 15 minutes of him. He came back on with the free interchange. Yeah, played 5 minutes and then went off. So I think
his power was so noticed. Every time he ran the ball, he was looking like prime Payne Haas out there. So
yeah,
he was probably outshining all the forwards there.
I just want to give Billy Slater some reps here as well. I mean, he picked Selwyn Cobbo at 17. We were wondering how he was going to get used, and then all of a sudden, Reece Walsh gets...
It's almost like he predicted the future.
Yeah, I know.
But to be fair, before the game, us Queenslanders, we know Reece Walsh is getting targeted. Like, he's the most hated for no reason player, just because, obviously, all the ladies love him. And we're all jealous, let's be real. But he's going to be targeted by the opposition team from the start, and I think he just knew that coming into the game.
Yep.
Cobbo coming in, he was absolutely sensational. He's been doing it for Broncos, and he's just filled in perfectly, and it's good to see him absolutely outperform.
Well, the other question, I can't really see anyone else getting dropped. I mean, McKinnis played all right.
I think a bit of a question mark for me, in my honest opinion, Liam Martin went under the radar of how poor he was.
I know.
Other than his big tackles.
The commentators love him, but like,
He missed some vital tackles, like that defense on Ben Hunt. He missed. Like, how are you not tackling Ben Hunt?
I saw Channel 9 posted his tackle.
Yeah, I
Like,
think he's going to struggle to hold his spot. Honestly, I think he gets moved to the bench. Like,
he made that tackle, and then everyone's like, "Oh, how good's Liam Martin?" And then
I want to have a look at the.
and then a
missed
minute
tackle
later,
stats.
it was legit. A minute later, he missed the tackle on Ben Hunt, and that's the game
like,
gone.
yeah,
like
you're all good making like big hits, like, and of course, like it was really good when they were trying to force that momentum by making some big hits, forcing some errors. But if you're missing vital tackles, like,
I can only wait to see what bloody McEnnis says about him. He loves him.
exactly.
And,
I think it would be rough for him to get dropped, obviously, but like I think he just went under the radar of he was quite poor.
Reece Robson. I mean, I think he
He was
played.
good.
I think he played a role. The question mark for the hooker spot, I guess, is if you have Appy Coruscant or if you're looking at to buying Damien Cook. I can't see Cook coming into the side. So
He keeps his spot. I don't think they had any issues there, and obviously it's hard for him, like having one less player, a lot of running, but I think he did his job right.
all right, let's go through a few buy hold sells for this week. A lot of people are going to struggle to fit 17. I know the all-out team's going to be struggling. So let's have a quick look about who we got here. We've got buys. A lot of the Rabbitohs players, because they play this buy round coming up. Damien Cook, he looks to be a great buy. We talked about him a couple of weeks ago when it was 640K or whatever he was. So
Yeah, he's
buy
looking
him.
good.
Keon Kilimatangi, he's looking like a nice option. He's been playing some healthy minutes for the Rabbits.
I think the Rabbits are going to come back as well. I just have that feeling.
Let's have a quick look at Keon's stats because
655K.
he also
cheap.
fits that mid sort of void, and he averages 50. He did get a bit of an outlier score when he scored 2 tries a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
but
he got 104.
yeah, 104. But let's have a
Break
look.
even of 10.
He scored 48, 40, 104. So
I think he's a guaranteed 40 pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's pretty low risk.
he's also playing 80 minutes, so that helps a lot.
Yeah.
Another buy, Brennan Hands. Now, we talked about him a little bit on Tuesday. I struggle to see Hands getting over 50 every week. I struggle to see
I
it.
do agree, but obviously the opportunity that he has and the price tag that he's at, like, I think it'd be kind of silly to overlook him. Like, he's going to...
273K. He got 55 on the weekend, I guess. last
Exactly. He
weekend.
got 55. Well, obviously, the Eels had a really good game, and his break even is -20. I don't think it's possible to overlook him. If he averages, let's say, 35, he makes 130K over the next 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Like 35 is, I think that's like very, very achievable.
We touched on Fafita. He's definitely a buy. Another one, SJ. I wouldn't
He's
be
always a
buying him.
buy.
I wouldn't be buying him just this week because he's not playing.
Yeah.
But he's definitely a hold. If you've hold him, he's back
hold.
next week.
Yeah.
So if you still got Blaze Talagi, he's still kicking. He's in the centres this week for the injured Simonson, who's got his season's over with an ACL injury. So
Disappointing.
Talagi remains another week for the all-out team. He's 411K now, so he's doing quite well.
Doing his job.
Sells Smithies. It's time to go, blood. He was quite a good little warrior there for the all-out team. He showed promise.
Yeah, he was mid during the whole year, but he did make a little bit of cash.
Yeah.
He was a bit of a painful hold during the year, but it's his time to go. And I'm looking at some other Raiders players. I think if you still have Strange, could be time to get rid of him as well.
Yep.
They've got the bye this week as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's heavy on the outs.
Who did we say? We said the Titans players, they're big buys. Storm players, they're big buys. So Jerome Hughes, Eli Katoa's been really good this year.
Mm-hmm.
I know the casual athlete had Eli Katoa from like round 7 or like really early.
Fair
So
play.
he was on
I
him
know
really early.
Some of the tough ones are the Bulldogs players, obviously referring to Sam Hughes and Salmon there.
Yep.
Coming off scores of 10 and 22 respectively.
It's tough out here.
It's so painful too because they play the round 16.
Yep.
Although they have a round 15 bye next week. So I think after this week, I think it's finally their time to go. Well, this week as well, if you have enough trades.
I am getting a bit of mail this week, actually, that David Armstrong's going to be out. He's going to be a late exclusion.
That hurts me a lot.
So for all our team and myself, I will have Edwards, Walsh, Armstrong, and Tedesco out this week. So I'm definitely not fielding 17, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm not fielding 17 as it is. Like I've got 16 just because all my other 5 players are all holds. I've got Manu, Weeks, Marshall King, Tedesco, and Butcher not playing this week. And if Armstrong's out as well, I might just have to cop it and just play less players again. It is what it is.
I'm just going to say a few of the questions here from the people on the Instagram. You could just rapid fire your answers here, man, and I'll put you in. Who to sell Walsh for now that Walsh has sell 11 days stand down?
I like Drinkwater.
Get him
He
in.
just got 81 points as well. He's bottomed out in price. Let's look at his buy schedule really quickly. Cowboys play buy at round 16 and 19. Oh, and 25. Buy schedule isn't the best, but I think he will probably be the best value if you're looking for like an upper echelon player there.
Would you buying Latrell this week or wait and see?
I actually wouldn't. I think he's coming in next round, whether it's starting there or maybe his impact off the bench. I think he has to come into Origin teams. I would probably just avoid, although his stats, like if you do get him, he's gonna eat for you.
Yeah.
But it's just a bit too risky for me.
Is Dave Fifita a buy and is 16 okay this week to have playing?
16 is definitely fine to have. I've got 16 myself. I think a lot of people are in the same boat, having Raiders, Dolphins, and Roosters all having the bye this week. And for Feeder, of course, just buy him. He's number one this week, especially if you're selling Hynes.
I mean, that's probably all the questions that are relevant. We've probably discussed everything else. I would be buying all those guys that Ben said. They're all decent buys. You really can't predict what Madge is going to do. If I were to predict what's going to happen, I'd say as a final word prediction, 4 weeks out from the next Origin.
Yep.
Hynes goes.
Agreed.
Who else did I say that's on the chopping block?
Senna.
Suali. I'd say Latrell comes in. Hynes goes, and that makes Hynes. Look, I'm selling just purely the fact of the buy round schedule.
I'm selling Hynes for hands, getting that cash. It's going to be lovely.
Just open it up. Well, hopefully we answered a few of the questions in the emergency podcast, mate. We'll see you all on Tuesday. Make sure to like the Instagram. We posted some great Suali highlights last night.
Of course, we love the memes.
Yeah.
We were on it in the 20th minute. I had one ready. Although there was a red card, it gave me an excuse to just cook up a TikTok. So fair play.
Anyone out there that actually wants to be a part of the meme sort of journey, if you want to send us memes,
send it to us.
Please
and
send them.
We'll credit you as well.
We'll credit you. We'll post it, but we'll credit you.
Yeah, of course.
100%. We'll see you next Tuesday. Enjoy your football on the weekend.
Leave a like.
Leave a like, subscribe, buy a hat. We'll see you then.
See you, everyone.